Hey, my name's PolishLynx. Welcome to Homeward again. And yeah, let's see where this story will lead. It was the beginning of autumn, while the green leaves were beginning to turn red when that event happened. I lied on my bed, frustrated that I was bored, but too lazy to do anything. The daylight was peering through my shades, but only seemed to make my dimly lit room darker. Through the walls I could hear distant electronic music as Sora played a game downstairs. It seemed like a quiet dull day. Then my cell phone vibrated in my pocket, startling me. I flipped it open and saw a text from Haruka asking me if I was free. I texted her back that I wasn't doing anything for the whole day. Why can't I choose here? I would like a choice, okay? When it's something like that. But, nah. Pretty soon I got a response asking if I could meet her at the train station. I wondered what was going on. Since I didn't have anything to do, I texted her back that I would meet her in half an hour and got out of my bed. It was unusual for her to text me out of the blue and ask me to meet her. Usually Nami would come over to my house and throw a pebble at my window there to get my attention. I never understood why she never knocked that girl. And then we'd go meet up Haruka at the station by default. Whatever it was probably important, so I better not keep Haruka waiting. Haruka was waiting for me in front of a train station when I arrived. Riku-kun, over here! Hi, Haru-chan. Good day to you, Riku-kun. What's up? Are we going to wait here for Nami? No chance, not going to come today. What? Really? That's pretty unusual for her to not show her face. Hehe. So, where are we going? It's a little bit of secret. Oh, really? Haruka wasn't spilling her beans, so it looks like I was going to be totally in the dark about what was going on. Well, knowing her, she probably wasn't going to lead me anywhere weird. I have a feeling she will lead you to a weird situation, okay? I just decided to play along and follow her. We got on the train and headed north. After about an hour we got off at a rural train stop. And we're sure in the boondocks now. Come to think of it, I think my grandparents used to live somewhere around here. They passed away a long time ago. Yeah, I see. So, can you tell me why we came out here now? Oh, don't tell me that you have a secret passion for hiking, Haru-chan. That's not it. Actually, today is my younger brother's birthday. Younger brother? I never knew you had a sibling, and because you earlier said you are an ugly child, I have a feeling that brother might be dead. And... oh fuck. I guess I don't really talk about him much. Does he live out here? I guess you could say that. Speaking of which, how is Sora-chan doing? She's been talking more now. I guess we're like normal siblings now. Or at least something close to it. Still, I'd appreciate if she could be more honest about her feelings. Sometimes, I have no idea whether she likes me or hates me. Not to mention she can go from being warm to icy cold in a matter of seconds. It sounds like you have your hands full. Tell me about it. Still, I don't mind working extra hard to take care of her. You can say that, well, she makes me feel important. I'm kind of flattered she's calming me. I guess it's nice to know that you're trustworthy enough for someone else to put their faith in you. It must be nice, having that feeling. I wish it could have been like that with my younger brother. But I guess we can't have everything in life. So that's how I thought it was. Eventually, we arrived at a quiet grave. It had a sad but serene aura around it. Haruka knelt by one of the small graves and gave a prayer. Takun, it's your Onesan again. Happy birthday. I brought you some dango. I'm not sure if you like them, but I think we would have enjoyed eating them together. You would probably have been starting middle school around now, wouldn't you? Yeah, Onesan's almost about to go to college. Yeah, and this is my friend Riku-kun. We've had a lot of fun times together. Get along with him from now on, okay? It's quite important to me. Okay, I should be concentrating on this, but that part scares me. Haruka finished her prayer and laid a package of bangles and some flowers in front of the grave. Sorry, I didn't know your brother would. Don't worry, Kuken. I was too young to even understand what had happened when he died. All I knew was that my mom had to go to hospital for a long time, and when she came back she was crying. I never even saw my younger brother. I guess it's better that way. Thank you for coming with me. My parents were too busy today and I didn't want to do this alone. It wasn't a problem. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like if Tatsuhiro was still alive. How different my life would be. But I guess those are just dreams. Dreams, huh? Pretty ones. We walked out of the grave and back down the trail. Wouldn't it be nice to be a mountain stream? A stream? Why is that? It's always going somewhere, and no matter what stands in its way, the stream always flows around it. It's always calm and never violent. It just bends and flows through all of its obstacles. But something so weak can curve through mountains and eventually make a valley. That sounds really deep. I like it, though. Even though we have our sad days, we're always going somewhere. Even if things stand in our way and they seem impossible to overcome, the answer lies is just flowing. Not in opposing it, not in fighting, but in just doing what you would do naturally. And eventually, even though you can't really tell, you've made a really big difference. A butterfly drifted in the sky. Because I had no idea what she was talking about, I noticed it. Where would it end up? Wherever the wind sent it. But did the butterfly really have to hide that? Who knew what sights and adventures the next wind would bring? Sure, sometimes the wind blew it somewhere it didn't want to go, but all it could do was flap its wings with the next breeze to somewhere else happier. Maybe, if all it did was try to fly against the wind, it would just end up going nowhere at all, when all along the next breeze could have taken it somewhere better. Thanks, Harchan. That makes a lot of sense. I'll try to be more like a mountain stream from now on. You're being silly. I smiled and walked down the trail with Haruka. As we walked back, I noticed it was unusually quiet. I guess it was only because Nonami wasn't here today. Being with just Haruka had a different feel. It was nice being able to listen to Haruka without having Nonami's voice overpower everything. But sometimes I felt uneasy, as if I should say something just to break into the silence. I guess grave visits weren't exactly Nonami's cup of tea though. No wonder Haruka didn't ask her. After bidding Haruka goodbye at the train station, I returned home. Sora looked at me from her game. Where were you? I went on a trip with a Haruchan. Are you hungry? Alright, I will get cooking. That night, I decided to work extra hard and cook Sora a better dinner than usual. I guess after what happened today, I felt a little bit inspired to try a little bit harder to take care of her. After all, she was counting on me. What? You have a weird look on your face. Did something happen today? Nah, not really. Everything is alright. And that really was the truth. Everything was alright. Sora was home. I would see Nanami and Haruka again when I went to school tomorrow. All was right. Something definitely not right. I'm gonna have to eat tonight's dinner carefully, in case you've put something weird in it. Hey no, I wouldn't do that. You're my dear sister, okay? After all. I still remember that eggplant you tried feeding me last Monday. Are you still mad about that? It was supposed to be really good for you. Sora made a face and made farting noises with her mouth. I farted back by pressing my arm into my mouth and blowing into it. Not to be outdone, Sora pressed her hands to her face and blew raspberries at me until she turned red from oxygen deprivation. I pretended to smell her fart and waved my hands in front of my nose and gagged. Sora only stuck her tongue out and raised her butt over the back of the sofa at me. Oh, that's a lovely sight. Shut up! She pretended to fart at me by making more noises with her mouth. Hey, the happy days at the Saionji household continued. I guess such situations can make you think and, well, put yourself in that place, basically, maybe. I looked out the window before homeroom began. It was already autumn, huh? The leaves outside were turning red and the weather was getting cooler by the day. I guess we're going to change into our winter uniforms pretty soon. Just then the teacher walked in and began homeroom. After announcements, Haruka went up to the front of the room. Since the culture festival is coming up, our class is going to conduct a vote to decide what we're going to do this year. As our final year at Minamikawa High School, we should all combine our efforts and make a fun and exciting event. So, please volunteer your ideas and I'll write them up on the board. I guess this will be my first high school culture festival in Japan. And the last one. I wonder what we should do. How about something commercial like a haunted house? Let's do something really unusual. What? Unusual? All of a sudden a rowdy boy suggested a maid cafe, but to the girl's chagrin. What was he thinking suggesting something like that? Imagine the amount of work it would take to get the costumes ready. What with all the frills and the fake highs and the aprons. On the other hand, I wouldn't mind if all of the girls wore cute costumes for a day. It really was boring wearing nothing but our uniforms every day. They seemed kinda cool at the beginning, but seeing nothing but the same clothing for months really was getting tiresome. Come to think of it, maybe a maid cafe wouldn't be such a bad idea. Besides, since somebody else already offered up the idea, nobody would even know if I were to vote for it. One little vote couldn't possibly hurt anyone. After a few more minutes of shouting out ideas, Haruka passed out the slip of paper to each student and asked everyone to vote. I wrote "Make Cafe" on my slip and dropped it into the box. In the end, the haunted house ended up getting the majority of the votes. Even though some of the guys were disappointed, I guess doing something like a maid cafe really was impossible. I was slightly disappointed that I couldn't see Haru. Kinda maid costume? Why? But I suppose it would have been mean to force all of the girls to embarrass themselves for our sakes. I'm pretty sure there are better girls in this class. Sorry. I don't know, it just doesn't work, okay, for me. We met up with Nonami and Sora during passing period to talk about what our classes were doing. A haunted house, how boring. I know, right? It was kind of a close call since the maid cafe was only 2 votes from winning. Our class is gonna do a scavenger hunt. Oh, I remember my class did something like that 2 years ago. Nanami nodded her nod seriously. Except this is going to be a no ordinary scavenger hunt, cause we're gonna hide a bunch of stuffed animals and you'll be able to keep what you find. Ooh, sounds interesting. What's Sora's class going to be doing? Maze. Oh, what's that? We're going to turn our classroom into a giant maze. Many dead ends and only one way out. Oh, I never heard of anyone doing that like that. We're trying to do something unique. That sounds fun! We should all check it out! There were 2 weeks left until the culture festival. Apparently the culture festival at Minamikawa was pretty serious business. For 2 days the gates of Minamikawa were open for the entire community. On the first day all of the clubs hold their own special exhibitions, while on the second day all of the classes had their events. Best of all, our classes were going to be shortened until the festival so that we had time to prepare. I sure needed this break. Every day it was always the same boring routine here. Wear the same uniform, take the same classes, follow the same rules. Everyone was looking forward to the change in pace. Before I knew it, it was already time for lunch. I left my classroom and was headed towards the cafeteria when I happened to notice a poster. Special moonlight dance for graduating seniors. I never heard anything about this. It looked like there was going to be a dance by the bonfire on the final day of the culture festival. Behind me I could hear a pair of girls talking about it. So, who do you want to go out with for the dance? I don't know. Besides, I'm going to ask anyone or out or anything. I'll just wait until someone asks me out. That's right, I need to find a dance partner. Since the school year was almost over, I guess this will be one of my final memories in high school. I should really think hard about who I ask out. Nonami, of course. With that in mind, I continued to the cafeteria. And you better give me a choice here with that, okay? Our fun-filled days passed quickly. Every day was spent preparing for the cultural festival. However, I still couldn't figure out who I should ask out to the dance. Then let me choose! Harukari was good looking, and not led, but she had perfect brains and was also a skilled cook. Okay. What are you talking about, okay? Nonami is freaking even better looking, and let's face it, she's working in this Suprai Dangi, right? So basically her cooking skills are probably even better. Grades don't matter, sorry. Grades don't really give you anything, let's face it. There was honestly no way to fault her for anything. As our class representative, she really stood out as the best girl in our class. Who cares? In fact, maybe I was a little undeserving of her. On the other hand, Nonami was my best friend, yes. She always had a cheerful smile on her face and had the energy to do anything. Exactly! I admit she was a little bit of a loose cannon, but I guess that was also a part of her charm too. True. Eh? All of a sudden a ghastly rave appeared in front of me, knocking me from my thoughts. Whoa! Riku-kun! Is that you, Haruchan? Sorry, did I scare you? Getting scared by a cheap wig like that, I felt embarrassed. No, not really. Our class was in the middle of decorating our room. Rows of plywood sheets stood against the wall, waiting to be arranged throughout the classroom and decorated. To tell the truth, I was a little scared myself when I first saw myself in the mirror. To illustrate, Haruka waved her arms around them and moaned in a deep voice. Whoa! Please give me your soul! To tell the truth, maybe she was more scared just not saying anything. As for me, I was in charge of the lights, so there was no need for me to get into costume. A bunch of boys grabbed the plywood walls and made the path through which the spectators would walk through. Now that our desks and chairs were removed, our classroom seemed surprisingly large. Using an overhead map of what the haunted house was supposed to look like, we managed to lay the plywood into place. After finishing with the walls, it was time for decoration. I grabbed a bunch of red and blue lights and set up the rigging. After a couple of hours, it seemed like our class was truly starting to look haunted. The days following that were all spent preparing for the festival too. Okay, just let me choose the dance, okay? It's important. I still didn't know who I was going to ask out for the dance for. Then let me choose! At last, it was the day of the festival. I entered the widely decorated gates of Minamikawa High School at the crack of dawn to get ready for the day's events. Since the first day of the festival was dedicated to jazz clubs, I headed straight to the Kendo dojo. As soon as I entered the dojo, Nonami stuffed an armful of infallible swords into my hands. Oh, Riku, good timing. Take these to our stand, would ya? I was so distracted by our haunted house that I nearly forgot the Kendo club was going to have its own special activities for today. That's right, we're going to have an inflatable sword duel ring. To describe it in more detail, two people were going to stand on top of the small circular stands exactly one sword's length apart from each other, and whoever manages to knock the other person off was the winner. I think I saw something similar in a festival in America. I carried the inflatable swords to our stand, taking care not to drop any. The Kendo Club stand was located quite a bit away from the dojo, in front of the track field. Upon arrival, I dropped the swords into a wooden box. Nearby, a group of kohai were taping a sign to the top of our stand. Thanks for the work, Saionji-senpai! It was no problem. Behind me, Nonami appeared from seemingly nowhere, a circular stand under each of her arms. Here, we can use this! Now that I thought about it, those stands look kind of familiar. Hey, those wouldn't be... Yep, they're the little seats that you use in the washroom to squat while taking a shower. Just as I thought. Oh, I had to buy this, you know? Well, good to know that they weren't used ones. By the time the sun was up, we finished putting the final touches on our stand. There was even an elaborate sign featuring an illustration of two Giga-styled muscle men beating the living snots out of each other. Must be Nanami's handiwork. Okay, this music really gives me the feeling that something will happen soon. Something weird. Now, all we had to do was wait for the festival to begin. By 11 AM, the school grounds were already filled with the visitors. Our stand was pretty popular with other students, so Nanami and I had our hands full selling tickets. Out of the blue, Nanami tapped me rapidly on the shoulder and pointed towards the crowd. "Oh, Riku, check that lovey-dovey couple out." Eh? Now that she mentioned it, there was a young couple wandering around not far from us. Ooh, doesn't looking at them just make you sick at your stomach? No, not really. Holding each other by their arms, eating ice cream from the same cone. Oh yeah, I bet they've already done it already. That's one too many already, Nanami. Alright, looks like we have no choice but to split them up. All of a sudden, Nanami grabbed a pair of inflated swords and stomped towards them. Let's see how long their lovey life continues when they're locked in mortal combat. This girl clearly had not a trace of sensibility. Not really eager to get involved in whatever she was planning, I stayed at the stand and kept watch. I spotted Sora walking by my stand with a small plate of takoyaki on her palm. Oh, Sora! Aren't you doing anything today? The Going Home After School Club doesn't have a stand. That's a nice club. I belong to that as well because, like most of students in my schools, because we didn't have anything like clubs. I kind of saw what more Sora meant. I wouldn't mind being able to see more of the stands myself, but I wasn't able to leave our stand alone with Nanami. Who knew what might happen? On an unrelated note, I noticed that Sora was wearing a new pair of earrings. That's strange, I know her ears were pierced. By the way, when did you get your ears pierced? No pierce, clip on. To demonstrate, she undid one of the earrings. They're pretty nice. Did you win them at stand? Uh-huh. All of a sudden, a crash interrupted our conversation. Mission failure. Nanami gripped our stand and hung her head low, as if she had just finished a grueling marathon and come in last place. Don't just interrupt other people's conversation. Riku, their love matter was too high for me. She wasn't even listening to me. All of a sudden, Nanami turned to me with a serious look on her face. I was a fool, Riku. A fool to trifle with the power of love. I didn't even know where to touch this. Yes, indeed, the light of love shall show the way of justice. She continued to babble on about love and justice, apparently trapped in her own little world. Finally, she snapped out of it when she noticed Sora. Oh, hey, Sora-chan. Well, it's about time you noticed. Hey, so, how's that coming along? No problems. I wasn't really sure what they were talking about, but just then a group of people came to our stand. Preoccupied with selling tickets, I took my attention off of the girls. It seemed like Nanami and Sora were going to talk about girls' matters anyways. What? By the afternoon, our shift was finally over. As soon as her kohai arrived to relieve her, Nanami cheerfully ran towards the other stands, looking as if she had not a care in the world. I reminded myself of the dance. I still needed to ask somebody out, didn't I? Just let me choose already, okay? If there will be no choice here, I will be angry. Seriously. Even though I wasn't sure I was ready for something like that, if I didn't ask somebody today, I guess it would be too late. I wonder what I should do. Check out the other stands with Nanami. See how Haruka's doing. See what's... Oh, fuck. You have... Alright. Unfortunately, I spoiled myself about the game a bit, and I know how one of the endings looks like. Well, not fully, but a bit. I will go with Nanami. That was the decision in the very start, so yeah. I chased after Nanami, not wanting to get left behind. She turned around and waved at me. Come on, Riku, let's get changed and then have some fun! We strolled through the festival ground, checking out what the other clubs were up to. Whoa, check it out, Riku! Nanami pointed to the archery club stand. It was one of those carnival games where you had to poop balloons using a miniature set of bow and arrows. Alright, it's 100 yen for 5 arrows! Nanami handed one of the club members a 100 yen coin and was handed a set of arrows. I watched on with interest. It was somewhat nostalgic, seeing such a classical carnival game at school. Watch this, Rikun, the grand prize is as good as mine. Nanami took aim and fired. Ha! The arrow went wide and bounced against the wooden wall. Oh, I missed. Oh well, there's still the second place prize. She let loose another arrow and missed again. Oh. I'm gonna get it next, okay? Yet again, another arrow went wide. Nanami hopped up and down in frustration. The gap between her confidence and actual skill level was comically amusing. I was trying my best not to laugh at the sight. The fourth arrow also missed all of the balloons. At this rate, Nanami was going to miss all 5 of her arrows and waste her money. Maybe it was time that I tried. Here, let me help. No wait, I've got this! She obviously didn't. Hold it! Come on, hold the bow like this and aim here. I raised Nanami's arm a bit. Maybe if we tried adjusting the trajectory of the arrow, we could compensate for the pull of gravity. Pull about this much. I held Nanami's wrist back a little and knocked the arrow. And there. I let go and the arrow sailed through the air. Pop! Alright, we did it! Nanami jumped in celebration with both of her arms up in the air. Give me high five. What's that? Never mind, forgot that they didn't work here. One of the archery club members handed us our prize. Since we ended up missing 4 of the bones, we only got a tiny keychain. Well, I guess it was better than nothing. I totally knew I could pull it off. Nanami laughed, mostly to herself. Just who was this girl trying to fool? But, thanks, Rikun. Come to think of it, hadn't she said something similar to me before? When could it have been? It was at the tip of my tongue. Well, I didn't think it was that important anyways. We continued to stroll through the school grounds, checking out the other stands. I can't believe that we're gonna be going to university in a year. This year did go pretty quickly, huh? Come to think of it, maybe I should dye my hair once I graduate. I look pretty good with red hair, don't you think? Oh, just what kind of look? Just look, what kind of look were you trying to go for? Some girl from a science fiction anime? Not only that, but I will have to upgrade my wardrobe. There will be no more of this uniform business then. We continued talking as we walked along. I ended up buying Nanami a wad of cotton candy and had fun with her for the rest of the festival. Maybe if a stranger were to see us now, maybe he would even think that we were going out? Considering how angry Nami was earlier today when she saw that couple, she sure had no problems acting all happy-go-lucky with her boy herself. Maybe she was just jealous then. Did you ask her to the dance? Damn it! Before we knew it, the sun was already setting and it was the end of the first day of the festival. Nanami and I returned to our stand and helped clean up. We disassembled our stand and returned all of our belongings into the dojo. The landscape was now drenched in red and the sun was disappearing underneath the mountains. I guess that meant time was running out. The moonlight dance would be tomorrow and I still didn't have a dance partner. Oh, I didn't choose? Oh, come on! Nanami would be a good partner for that night. Yes! I reached into my pocket and pulled out the tiny keychain that we had won earlier that day. Nanami was my best friend. Sure, she was kind of silly and I admit, stupid from time to time, but that's what made her Nanami. If she wasn't like that, then I think she would lose something really special about her. I wouldn't want her any other way than what she already was. I was going to do it. Nanami came out of the dojo. Yes! Come on! You can do it! Riku! Well then, let's get going home. Actually, can you wait a little bit? Hmm? What's up, Riku? My heart was now starting to pound inside my chest. I took a gulp. I was just thinking. This year really was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun too. When I first arrived here, I didn't think that I was going to make that many new friends. Just ask her, okay? To tell the truth, when I was living in America, I didn't really get along with other people that well. What do you mean, not get along? It's kind of hard to explain, but you know, it's hard when everyone else has known each other for a long time. Like they were childhood friends, and you just arrive in the middle of everything. I guess I was just a stranger to everyone. For the longest time, I really wished for someone like that. Someone who's known me for a very long time, who I could always be friends with. Don't worry, Kun. You always have me to back you up in cases like that now. So basically, what I'm basically saying is, I don't feel lonely anymore. It's all thanks to you, Nanami. So thanks for always being there. Stop it, Rikon! You're embarrassing me all of a sudden! Okay, man. Now I won't back out, okay? Do it, you idiot. So, will you go out with me to the moon lanterns? Silence hung in the air. Did I ask the wrong question? Did Nami not want to go out together? Cold sweat began to drip down my back. Oh my god. Of course, it's okay if you don't want to, but... thanks, Riku. To tell the truth, I was wondering if you had already found someone. Maybe I was even a little bit worried. But it makes me happy. I'm glad I was the one Riku asked. Yeah! So, I will accept your offer. Wait, so does that mean... Really? Thanks, this is the only thing I have. Sorry, I should have planned this thing out a bit more. I handed Naomi the small keychain that we had won earlier that day. It's okay, the memory of today is enough. Thanks, Rikun, for not leaving me. I smiled. The burning pressure on my chest was disappearing and I felt surprisingly light now. Now, should we get going? Yeah. Let's go back home. As soon as I entered my room, I crashed into my bed, all of my worries vaporized. What a crazy day. I honestly couldn't believe that Naomi was going to be my dance partner for tomorrow. And from the way she said it, it felt like that she might even have wanted something more than just being a dance partner for a single day. The thought made me feel as if my head was in the clouds. Who knows, maybe soon, Nanami might even be my first girlfriend? Wait, you are in the... what? You are in the last year of your high school and first girlfriend. Okay. That's... surprising. I admit it really was depressing all these years, watching everyone else get into relationships. For most of my life I honestly felt exempt from that. After all, the girls looked totally different from me and I didn't really spend enough time in one place to ever get to know anyone well enough for something like that. Ever since I left Japan, I have wondered just how nice it would be to have a lifelong friendship turn to love. Even though we were forced to spend nearly 10 years apart, Nanami was still my very first friend. I couldn't believe that the kind of luck that actually brought us back together again actually existed. Really, what are the chances of something like this happening? I was so wrapped up in my thoughts that I could hardly sleep. But after all, you fell asleep, right? Let's end the episode here. That was, well, the first day of this festival, so in the next one we'll move to the second day and probably to the dance as well, hopefully. So I'm glad you are with me on the journey through this story and see you in the next episode. Bye!